Hello, fourth graders. Today we have our last lesson in our career exploration unit. We're going to talk about post-secondary education. At the end of this, there is a post-assessment survey that I need you to complete that I've linked in the folder for this lesson. So please don't forget to do that at the very end. Like I said, we're talking about post-secondary education. Last time, we talked about career groups and how our interests and skills could help us find a career group that might be a good fit for us. So today, we're going to take another look at those careers groups and some of the careers that you had liked on Zello. And I'm gonna have you go back onto Zello and see which post-secondary education those careers recommend. But first, let's review. So, at the end of this lesson, these are things I want you to be able to either say or know. I want you to believe that there's a career that fits your own interests and skills out there. I want you to know that there are different types of careers and different types of trainings to help you prepare for that career. I want you to be able to say, I can choose a career and a post-secondary path based on my interests. So, again, post-secondary education. Let's break down the word. Post means after, secondary means high school. So it means after high school learning. Whatever you learn after high school to prepare you for a career or a job is post-secondary education, whatever that looks like. Okay, so again, post-secondary education is any learning after high school. And we're going to go through a couple different options of post-secondary education for different careers. So, why do you even need to learn after high school? I bet you're asking yourself that. Well, there's many reasons. Most careers require special training to get hired. Sometimes just a high school diploma isn't enough, and you need to know a couple more things. Also, you'll be better at your career once you are hired, of course. And you might actually enjoy learning about something you're interested in. So oftentimes in post-secondary education, it's more focused on a career and a job that you're about to do. So it might be more interesting to you to take those classes or learn about that career more because you're the one choosing it. Also, most people tend to earn more money in their career if they attend. Okay, so hopefully this was familiar to you from last time. These are our career groups. We've got realistic, create things with their hands or with their imagination, and like to, display their imagination that way. We've got the social group or the helpers. These are our teachers, our school counselors, people who want to help other people and solve problems. Got the enterprising or the persuaders. This is usually people who want to work in business or marketing or PR, things like that. We've also got our conventional group, our organizers. A lot of people in this group would be administrative assistants or any other kind of organizer, maybe an accountant, things like that. So now we're going to go through some post-secondary options. These are some of the most popular options, but of course there's others out there. First, we've got college. There's multiple different types of college. You've got your technical or community college, and then a four-year college. Sometimes it's called a university. There are certificate programs out there for certain careers where you have to go through this course and earn a certificate to say that you have the skills to be able to do this job. There are also things called an apprenticeship out there where you learn from an expert in that field on how they do their job, and you learn very specific skills. You've got on the job training where you don't start your post secondary education until the first day of work. And a lot of those could be administrative assistants or working maybe in an animal shelter or some kind of lab techs, things like that. So here are the facts, a better way to kind of remember these post-secondary education options. You've got four-year college, got apprenticeship, community college or a certificate program, and technical college. So first, let's talk about technical college. So technical college prepares you for something specific, a very hands-on career. So some examples of these careers would be um, like a medical assistant, a florist, a cosmetologist, or a welder. Hennepin Technical College is an example of a technical school nearby. And the amount of time it takes depends on what kind of career you're training for. And it's common for people in technical college to live at home or in their own apartment and take the bus to school every day. And like I said, it usually takes about 1 to 2 years depending on what you are learning. Next, we've got a community college. A community college is an example of one would be Normandale Community College, if you've heard of that. It's around here. Some examples of careers that would go to community college would be like a registered nurse, paramedic, a legal assistant, maybe an electrician. And so it's common to attend a community college for 2 years to take a lot of variety of classes. And some people, once they're done at community college and are taking their what are called general classes, they can then transfer those credits to a 4 year college, but only finish the last 2 years. So a lot of people like to do that. It can be a way of saving money because community college tends to be a little bit more affordable than a 4 year college. But but yeah, it's for a lot of people who are just trying to build their skills overall. And it's common to live at home or in their own home and then commute to the college every day. So next we've got our 4 year college or university. This is the one that you probably think of when you think of going away to college, or in the movies. This is the college life that most movies portray. It's you're going away to college for 4 years. An example would be the University of Minnesota. And so this route is less focused on a specific field of training or career. And instead, you take a lot of general classes, like I was talking about before, English classes, math classes, history classes. And then as you're there for longer periods of time, you kind of focus in on one subject. So, for example, I went to a 4 year college. My major was in psychology, but for the first 2 years, I took a lot of just general classes about history, about writing, about math, and then my last 2 years were really more about psychology. And in this area, people usually live on campus in dorms. When you think of living in college and in a dorm, this is the place. So a lot of these careers are things like lawyers, scientists, engineers, teachers do a 4 year. School counselors do a 4 year. So this is probably the one that you're thinking of when people say they go away to college. And this is also the route if your career needs a master's degree or a doctorate degree, you need to do this 4 year first. So I also went on to do my master's in school counseling to be a school counselor. Okay, we got apprenticeships. So these are they're an earn while you learn. So oftentimes you get paid to be doing an apprenticeship, which you don't get paid to go to college. And this is a time when you get on the job experience while taking classes and learning from someone who is very skilled in that department. So these are jobs like an electrician, a carpenter, or a plumber. And it could take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, but you don't have to pay for it. It doesn't cost you anything, unlike college or community or technical school. And you get paid during it. So there's a lot of pros to this path as well, depending on what job you want to do. So, and then we've got certificate programs. These are jobs that specifically say, okay, this person needs to go and get training on this job and prove that they've had that number of hours of training. So, things like truck drivers or machine operators really need to learn their skill very closely to be able to do their work. And so, oftentimes you can take this while you're in other community programs or in apprenticeships, and they can last anywhere from 2 months to a year, depending on the certificate. Lastly, we have on the job training. So, this is when you get hired for a job, and your employer is going to train you on your first day and for as long as they feel like they need to. And so, it's what you need to do for that specific job at that specific employer. You could definitely learn things that are for the career path in general, but this on the job training is about the specific place, the specific role that you get hired for. and you get paid while you're there. So some jobs would be like a receptionist and learning how that office operates, or an administrative assistant, things like that. So you still need to have some post-secondary education, whether you're going to a college or um, an apprenticeship or things like that. This is still technically post-secondary because you are learning. Okay, so for your assignment, I want you to, when you're done with this video, go to Zello. You should have already been on Zello a couple times so you know how it works. When you get in there through the Clever app, I want you to hit on the careers button. Hopefully you remember a couple careers that you had liked from last time. You can search those careers and find out what kind of post-secondary education those careers require according to Zello. Once you figure those out, I want you to come back to Schoology and comment right here in the lesson the at least 2 post-secondary options that at least 2 careers that you need. So if you went and you liked graphic designer, I want you to search graphic designer in Zello. Come back to Schoology and tell me what post-secondary education a graphic designer needs. So your comment in this lesson is your ticket out the door. But lastly, once you do that, I've linked below a post-assessment survey that I need you to take. It's very similar to the first one that we took on our very first lesson, and I need you to take that as well. That is linked below in the same folder as this lesson. So 2 things. Go to Zello, find out your at least 2 post-secondary career options for your careers, come back, post them here, and then take the post-assessment survey and turn it in. Thank you so much, 4th graders. I'll see you again.